Hello makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I am super excited for this video because I'm going to be doing a review of the Lorraine Cosmetics Paradise palette. And before I get into how beautiful the palette is and all the good stuff, I want to mention that this video is sponsored by Lorraine Cosmetics. And I'm very excited to be partnering with them for this video because I love colorful makeup. I love indie makeup, so it just feels right. I actually talked about this palette in an indie makeup releases. And I said that I thought it was really beautiful. I wasn't sure if I was going to buy it because I thought that the color scheme was a little bit like, how do I say it? It's just a little crazy. It didn't quite make sense in my head, but the more I played with it, the more I've been inspired. Actually, my dad, I showed him a picture I had taken of the palette because I thought it looked really nice, and he said that it was the Twister of eyeshadow palettes, which I thought was really funny. But anyways, let me show you guys before I just keep talking about how beautiful it is. So this is the palette that I'm going to be talking about today. It is huge. It is seriously ginormous. Like it's bigger than the size of my head. I was definitely blown away by the size. The pans are super big as well, as you can see. And there are a total of 18 shades in here. And I feel like this palette is pretty versatile because you've got I feel like you have everything you need to make a monochromatic look for each different shade. Like you could do a really warm look, you could do a neutral look, you could do a purpley pink look, you could do a pink red look, you could do yellows, greens, and blues, which is kind of what I did today. I feel like there's so much you could do with this, and I think that it's just overall a stunning palette to look at. Like I said, I feel like when you look at it, it can be a little bit overwhelming, but once you kind of, calm down and kind of, sometimes what I like to do is I'll just zone into one little square of a palette, and I think what look can I do with this, or what look can I do with this, and I feel like that helps me. So if you guys want me to do more looks on my channel using this palette, definitely let me know because I can definitely do more. I've done quite a few looks off camera, just testing it out, making sure that I liked it, and I do or else I wouldn't be doing this video. So okay, let's start talking about let's just talk about the price and the amount of product you get. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I've filmed this intro so many times, and I'm I don't know if you can tell, I'm really smiley because I'm literally making myself laugh. So I wanted to give you guys a quick little comparison on the amount of product that you get. Like I said, this is 18 shades, and the total amount of product is 2.85 ounces, which is a lot. That's almost 3 ounces of product. And then, for example, I just chose a naked palette because I feel like these are pretty well known. This total has 12 eyeshadows, and the amount is 0.6 ounces. So this is almost 3 ounces, and this is 0.6 ounces. So you can see how much product you get in this. So if it's something you feel like you're going to use every day, then I think that's a really great value. The palette does retail for $32, which if you break it down is $2 per eyeshadow, which is really not bad at all. It's not quite high-end pricing, also not quite drugstore, but I do think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. So let's just go ahead and start off by talking about the matte shades. There are 11 matte shades in the palette, and I think that overall I do like the matte formula. It's pretty smooth, it's pretty easy to work with. However, I will say that it's definitely a formula that I feel needs a little bit of building up. Some shades have fallout, some shades don't. I feel like for this, for example, when I go into an eyeshadow shade, some palettes I do that and it's all I need, whereas this I feel like you can do a comfortable little swirl and then go in your eyes, and the palette does not have any kickback in the pan or anything like that. Some shades, like this blue shade, does get a little bit of kickback in the pan, and the purple one did get a little bit of kickback as well. So it just depends on the shade, but I feel like overall definitely more of a buildable formula. It's not something that you're going to put down on your eyes and be oh, how am I going to blend this out? That was very dramatic, but I think we've all had those moments. So I do like the matte formula. I find it pretty easy to work with, pretty easy to blend. It's good, but the thing that I'm most focused on in this palette is definitely the metallic shades. I think the metallics are stunning. They are so beautiful. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I would say 6 truly metallic shades, and one that's more of a satin that I'm kind of it's okay. So the one that's kind of more satin is this red here. I don't know if you guys can see. You can probably tell on my finger swatch that, it has a little bit of a shine to it, but it's not super bold metallic. So I think this is probably one of the shades I would change if I could do it myself. I would want this shimmer shade to have the same formula as all the other metallics because it's not quite as intense. However, like for example, like the blue shade, I use this in my look today. This one is absolutely stunning. You can see how metallic it is, and it like looks like it has like little tiny glitter speckles in it. It is beautiful. There's a copper shade right here, which is beautiful. The shimmers kind of remind me of Juvia's Place, kind of like that thicker, really metallic formula. I'll show you guys the purple. I'm gonna do like full swatches, but I just can't help myself. Like when it comes to shimmers, they're stunning. Hopefully you guys can see, they are just beautiful. And then you do have, I feel like this white shade is a nice like inner corner highlighter if you are like a lighter skin tone. But if you are medium to deep, I feel like you could probably mix this gold and this white together if you like a really bright inner corner highlighter. I actually use this white as my highlighter, like my face highlighter today, and I think it's beautiful. Although you do really have to buff it into the skin because it is more of a cool undertone. I feel like for me personally, I have everything I need in this palette. I'm definitely over like the whole like I need a cream matte shade. I do not set my base anymore, so I'm like, I don't need a cream matte. But you do have a nice deep black, you have a medium toned brown, you have a light transition brown. If you are one of those people who feel like you need to use browns in your crease in order to pull off colors, which is totally fine, whatever makes you happy, you do have that option here. But you could also do something colorful in your crease, you could do something orange in your crease. So like I said, I feel like there's a lot you could do with this. My favorite shade in the entire palette is this green right here, so that's what I decided to base my look on today, so you guys could see the eyeshadows in action. I did film this, so that will be at the end of the video in case you guys are curious and you want to see how the eyeshadows perform instead of just me talking about them, because I feel like both can be very helpful. So really quickly, I'm going to insert some swatches of the palette. I was actually outside taking some product pictures of this palette for Instagram, as you do, and I was doing like, oh, I'll just try, you know, swatching a few, and then I could not stop. I ended up swatching my whole arm, so I just went ahead and recorded it in the sunlight so you guys could see how these look in natural light, and I'll just include that real quick. Alright, so my overall thoughts on the palette is that I like it. I would recommend it. I've had a lot of fun playing with it, and there's so many more looks I want to do for my channel. Like I said, I did do quite a few looks off camera, just testing it out, making sure it lasted well. I use a primer, but I never really have problems with anything fading on me ever. Like, that's just not something that happens to me. But I do really like it, so I will leave the website link down below in case you guys are interested, and let's go ahead and hop on into the tutorial. Alright, so I have played with the palette several times already off camera, and I decided for the tutorial that I wanted to do with the review, I would recreate my favorite look that I've done so far using the palette because I thought it was really beautiful, and I wanted to share it with you guys, except I'm going to kick it up a notch. I'm going to add like a little half cut crease, some lashes. So today we're going to be doing a bunch of blues and greens. So I'm just going to go ahead and start off with, I think, possibly my favorite shade in the palette, which is this green right here. And I'm just going to throw that green in the crease. It's like a really vibrant lime green shade. My brush is really dirty. I just kind of use my color switch. And I'm just going to build that shade up a little bit. I really like how this one looks on the eyes. I feel like some greens that I've tried in this color family, they don't really look on the eyes the way that they do in the pan, but I think this is pretty true to color. Alright, so next I'm going to go into this deep green shade right here, and I'm just going to throw that through my crease. I'm just using the same brush because I want it to be pretty blended and smoked out. It's just a big fluffy crease brush from Wet n Wild. It's literally $1. And it's so good. People feeling like the light has just come. So something I just like to do a lot, I'll take like whatever's left over on my brush, use my color switch, get the extra off, and then I'm going to go back into the lighter green shade, and I'm just going to pop that over top Alright, so my memory card ran out of space, but I'm going to go ahead and go into this really beautiful blue shade right here next. And I'm going to do it on a slightly smaller fluffy crease brush. And I'm going to keep this mostly on like my outer V. It's going to turn more into a teal shade on the eye because it's mixing in with the greens. We must never stop the way, yeah. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into life is happy. I'm just gonna go back in with my previous brush and just blend out the edges. That blue shade is a little bit more on like the buildable side. It's not like super pigmented right off the bat. I do find it pretty easy to work with though. I did get just a touch of fallout, but that's fine because I normally do my eyes first. Alright, so if you wanted to deepen this look up more, you could definitely go in with the black, but I think that this is pretty much how I want it, so I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease really quickly. So insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah. Alright, so there is my little half cut crease. If you're ever curious how I do that, I do have a full video explaining my methods. I'm going to go ahead and take this blue shade right here, which is so beautiful, and I'm going to kind of apply that to like just I'd say like the outer part of my lid, just like right here, kind of blending over from the mattes. This has like such a pretty like kind of like a glittery look to it. And then next I'm going to go into this metallic white shade here on the other side of my brush, and I'm just going to use that for the inner corner of my eye. Do you guys see that? So intense. The beauty of the world, Savannah. I'm going to use a mix of the white and the blue on this part in the middle here, just kind of blending together to create like a baby blue shade. And then last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more of the dark blue shade, and I'm just going to put that on my outer third, just kind of blending it into the shades we just applied. Alright guys, so there is the look so far. I'm going to go ahead and quickly just finish off my face, and I'll be right back to do the lower lash line. So I was kind of sitting here like, what should I do for the lower lash line? And I decided I wanted to do something really yellow. So I'm going to start off with the Monster Ardency In liner in the shade Lemon. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the matte yellow shade here, and I'm just going to buff that along my lower lash line. And then just so everything blends together, I'm going to take the dark green shade and just slightly blend that on the outer third. And then last but not least, I'm going to take the metallic white shade on a pencil brush, and I'm just going to pop that on the inner corner of my eye. And then I'm going to take the Glitter and Glow from Stila in the shade Perlina. It's just a really pretty like, glitter, and I'm just going to pop that on my inner corner. This is the finished look, and I really love how it turned out. I am just such a fan of the combination of blue and green on the eyes. I feel like it's just stunning, and they just go together so well. So I really love the finished look, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, this review and tutorial of the Joy Lorraine Cosmetics Paradise palette. I think it's really beautiful. So I will have it linked down below in case you guys are interested in purchasing it. And if you want to see more looks using it, definitely let me know, and I can do that because I feel like there's so much more I could do for my channel with it. But I think that's everything I have to say, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!